Previously on My Big Fat Obnoxious Boss.
Welcome to my world.
As their first executive privilege,
all right, let's go.
Mr. Todd invited the contestants to tour his bogus multi-million-dollar mansion.
It looked like a little miniature castle. It was beautiful.
Mr. Todd really seems like he wants to get to know us, which is awesome.
Where he showed off his outrageous prized possessions.
This is Excalibur.
I felt extremely privileged to get the tour of the house.
Then, Mr. Todd presented a ridiculous sales challenge.
We've got July in Chicago. Your job is going to be to sell hot bowls of soup.
Hot soup? Hot soup on a hot day.
Selling chicken noodle soup. You don't care, that's okay.
The men came out on top, while the women went on to face Mr. Todd. And the mystery boss...
Who's it going to be? Christy or Carrie?
Sent another contestant packing.
Christy, get the hell out of my office.
Wow.
Welcome to my world.
I survived, and I'm team boss, which feels great. I think Mr. Todd has a lot of respect for me now. I now have learned what Mr. Todd likes, and I will definitely take that into account before we go in next time to the boardroom. And I think he's seen, some of my strong talents, and I just can't wait to show him more.
I have some notes from Mr. Todd.
Oh, thanks.
So this morning, Shannon, Mr. Todd's assistant, delivered an exciting invitation. It says, I would like to invite you and 2 teammates of your choice to join me this afternoon for a sail on one of Chicago's finest yachts, the Perseverance 2. Yachting attire suggested.
Wow.
What is yachting attire?
This one's to Chicago's exclusive Harborside International Golf Course.
Yours is for golfing?
Here. I chose Mike and David to go with me on this.
Well, we got to get ready. This is big. Rob said, guys, we're playing golf today.
Oof. This will be good. It's a nice course.
I was hopefully going to take some time to ask Mr. Todd some questions about IRCOR and how he gets started and just his background.
Dang it.
The idea of actually being able to talk to Mr. Todd one-on-one and ask him some business questions, some personal questions, was really something I was excited about.
Ah, there it is.
In the beginning, he was going to hang out with Carrie and Ellie and I, and then towards the afternoon, he was going to hang out with the boys.
I just really couldn't wait to find out what made him who he was and how I could start to formulate my strategy. Not only are you competing for attention, but you're competing for the position.
The yacht and golf outing was the contestants' second executive privilege. And the men and women were really looking forward to the chance to solidify their standing with N. Paul Todd.
Hello, ladies.
Hello. Ahoy, mate.
Ahoy, mate. Welcome to my world.
Thank you.
Come on aboard.
Little did they realize that this entire quality time experience had been engineered to reveal a rather unsettling side of their new boss. were getting comfortable on my multi-million-dollar yacht, which they didn't know was rented for the occasion. And we figured it was only appropriate for Mr. Todd, as their host, to offer them a small token of his appreciation for joining him. Actually, we have gifts.
Thank you.
Presents! All right.
We were not quite sure how these girls would react when Mr. Todd gave them as presents bikinis.
Wow, that's a nice.
It's very pretty.
I didn't want to read too far into the swimsuits as a gift. We weren't sure what to think of that.
My wheels started turning, and I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute, this is probably inappropriate.
How about we jacuzzi?
Do you ladies want to?
I might sit this one out. It's a job interview. I'm not jumping into a bikini on a job interview.
You do not look that.
I'm like the biggest girl here.
You are not.
Yes, I am.
But to my surprise, they went below decks and put the bikinis on anyway.
I remember Mr. Todd coming up the stairs, and he was in a swimming suit. I know that my mind was just turning at this point. I was just thinking, oh my God, this is so awkward. Are we doing the right thing here?
I think I'm gonna change. He kind of skeeves me out.
We get there, it's a beautiful golf course.
We've got you set for a 4 o'clock tee time with Mr. Todd this afternoon.
We actually hit golf balls first. We were waiting for Mr. Todd, so we went over the driving range first. Hey, boy.
Not a great golf player, but I love to get some good one-on-one time with Mr. Todd.
I guess, people say, 80% of all business is done on the golf course. You know what? Not with me.
We're going swimming.
I think Paul's behavior was a bit inappropriate.
Oh my God!
It was completely inappropriate for him to give us the bikinis, completely inappropriate for him to, jump into Lake Michigan and say, ladies, come join me.
Hey, I have good taste in bathing suits.
I mean, I don't know this man. I didn't want to be a party pooper. And I have a different way to view things than Whitney and Carrie. I mean, I'm spontaneous, I can have fun, but I'm not jumping into Lake Michigan on a job interview.
That was spontaneous.
Right, it was
so much fun.
Oh, yeah. So awesome.
4 o'clock.
He's usually on time, isn't he?
He's quite punctual.
Mr. Todd had plans to go meet the boys, I think at 4 o'clock, and we weren't even close to land.
Robert, team captain.
Mr. Todd, how are you?
I'm fine. I had something come up. We're running a little bit behind schedule. We got a late start, and I'm working on a business transaction.
Okay, what would you like us to do, sir?
Work on your putting.
Work on our putting.
Robert, I'm being told the tee time's at 5.
Okay, thanks, bye. Be here at 5. He says he's got some business transaction he's got to take care of.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I wasn't showing up on that golf course at all. And boy, were those guys going to be pissed. As our delightful yacht excursion progressed into the late afternoon, I made a point of spending some one-on-one time with the girls.
So yeah, I was a little intimidated in the beginning. I think that today really helped me feel a lot more comfortable with everything. I mean, I really was looking forward to getting some FaceTime with you.
That's fascinating.
Thank you. I got to see a softer side of Mr. Todd today, and that helps me relate to him more as a person, and it humanizes him for me. I don't want to be a model. I don't want to be in magazines. I don't want to be on TV.
I was basically not listening to anything Whitney said, and all I did was respond, "That's fascinating."
That's not my goal.
You think of, a pretty girl as wanting to do that stuff.
That's not my goal.
That is fascinating.
I was so nervous. I was thinking, all the people that are watching us, and I'm not used to that
That
at
is
all.
fascinating. I'm surprised.
Yeah. Every time Mr. Todd told me that I was fascinating, I loved it. That's how I base my life.
That is
my
fascinating.
relationships and everything.
I'm really glad.
Oh, thank you.
That's fascinating.
Thank you. The way that he looked at me when he said it, it just made me feel warm.
That's fascinating. That is fascinating. That is fascinating. That's fascinating.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good feedback.
And it went on and on until one would think it was clear that I wasn't listening and just responding. I'm fascinated by that, and I'm fascinated by you, really. It's
Good, thank you.
It's a fascinating experience.
No one has ever called me fascinating before, and I think it's a great word. It made me feel really good to hear him say it.
You are fascinating.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
All right, yep, talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
I hate non-punctual people. My biggest pet peeve. I kind of take it a little personal. I know it's not a business deal, but he did make a, commit an arrangement with us and hasn't showed up yet. It's almost a slap in the face.
Mr. Todd is, I guess, 4 hours late now. We got stood up.
I hate this game. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was good. Carrie and Ellie and I just came off the yacht, and it was fantastic. It was amazing.
All right.
Where is everybody?
Hello.
Just got home, played golf all day long, and waited for Mr. Todd, who didn't show up, and it sucked.
The guys were not in a good mood at all. I mean, he stood them up, and they were upset.
We were on the golf course for 5 hours. We could have gotten in the easy 18 holes. But we waited.
Just sit around and wait?
Yeah, they played only 6 holes.
We waited 3 hours for him.
He called you guys while we were having dinner with
You guys were right there, and he called us
Yes, and
and
then he said not to say anything.
"That sucks."
Mr. Todd basically outright lied to us.
Blew us off to hang out with the girls. If you're a guy, I'm a guy. Just be like, yo, bro, there's girls in bikinis. I'm staying. I'd be like, roger that. I'm going to get back to my golf game.
I'm really questioning Mr. Todd's character right now.
That night, knowing that the guys were already pretty sore, we decided to have Mr. Todd call the penthouse and stir things up.
Hello.
I guess you could call this the billionaire's version of a drunk dial. This is N. Paul Todd. Who's this?
Hey, Mr. Todd, this is Whitney.
Whitney, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
How am I?
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm feeling no pain right now. Do I sound spacey at all?
Not too bad.
I took I'm not real big with taking pills and medicine and stuff, but I took one of the pain pills they gave me for a procedure I had on my testicles. Woo! Is Whitney there?
Mr. Todd, this is Whitney. Now you sound a little spacey.
Hey, I really enjoyed our talk. I hope you did too. I meant what I said.
That was really important to me to get that out of the way, and I'm glad I had the opportunity.
Good. You're a fascinating young woman.
Thank you.
All right, we'll do it again.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna go.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
He just called to say I love you.
Yeah, you just called to say you had a good time.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, that crazy, crazy Paul.
Yeah.
Good night.
What's this guy doing?
So we woke up and we knew we had a challenge.
We didn't want to do another street challenge at this point.
We arrived at the iCore offices, and so we were waiting, I guess, for a meeting with Mr. Todd.
Everything else has been outside, selling in your face. We wanted something totally different.
I see two suits come out with mascot heads on them. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
I know what you're thinking. A couple of asses. Did it get your attention?
Absolutely.
Because I'm supposed to be the head of a multi-billion-dollar company, it makes sense that I'd occasionally be away on business. And whenever I'm away, I hand over the reins to my son.
Hey.
Who's basically a smug, overprivileged billionaire's kid.
First, I want to introduce Kent Todd. He's the VP of Public Relations for Iacor. Kent is going to be introducing the challenge, and he'll be sitting in for Jamie.
Kent Todd he's not really that qualified. He's not really all that smart. He barely graduated college. His dad owns the company. Yes, my dad owns this company. I know what you're thinking. I slept my way to the top. Okay, all right. Well, all jokes aside, because I'm new, David's gonna explain what we do next.
All right, we got to do the team bosses. So, Carrie.
Yes.
You're the team boss for Femron. Robert?
Yes, sir.
So you've been the team boss for CONCAD for a while now.
That's right.
Who's going to be wearing that beautiful crown?
Damien.
As you know, David Hickman has a fondness for the men. In particular, there's one young businessman he's got his eye on, Damien.
Excellent choice.
I wanted to stare down Damien, so I stared and stared and stared at him. He looked like he was a little kid in a barber's chair, just about to go under the scissors.
All right, congrats. Kent, want to continue?
Sure. Thanks, David. I'm very passionate about PR, and I'm very good at it. I don't know anything about PR at all. It is a tough time for corporate PR right now. With the rising tide of corporate scandal, environmental disasters, people do not have a very good perception of corporate America right now. If the public does not like the face of your company, it is your job as a PR professional to put a new face on your company. Here's the challenge, and it's extreme, and I designed it to be extreme. There is a company that we do business with, Drycon. They produce a chemical agent called hydrocyanic acid. Anybody ever heard of it?
Hydrocyphoric acid.
Hydrocyanic acid. It has literally thousands of uses. It is in ice cream cone boxes. It's in parachutes and ceiling fans and that couch and my new car. It is everywhere you look. You cannot go a day without touching 50 things that have hydrocyanic acid in them. Little did they realize that hydrocyanic acid is just another word for cyanide. Hydrocyanic acid also happens to be one of the world's most toxic substances. So, your challenge is to create a marketing tool for Drycon in the form of a company mascot.
Here are the rules. You're going to be designing original mascots for Drycon. In addition, you'll be asked to create an informational presentation. Then tomorrow afternoon, you're going to perform your presentation for a group of 8-year-old children and their parents. And they're going to vote on which ones they like the best. And as always, I will be observing the men. And Kent will keep a very strong eye on the ladies. Obviously, the winners are off the hook. Losers will report to Kent's dad's office, where one person will go home.
So we created a fake company that we called Drycon that supposedly makes a toxic chemical.
And the challenge was designed to allow them to play spin doctor and help boost the company's public image by coming up with a lovable, family-friendly mascot.
So much fun. Awesome. Well, as soon as we got the go-ahead, the men went into their designated room and we went into ours.
It looked almost like a costume factory. There was outfits, all type of arts and craft things all over the room.
Well, do kids like superheroes? They're definitely superheroes.
Who here has a coloring book?
As we watched both teams begin brainstorming, we knew we were in for something pretty ridiculous.
Here we go. Like a champion, baby.
Our challenge was to basically create a company mascot
For a company that's called Drycon, and this company produces this toxic chemical which is called hydrocyanic acid.
It's kind of weird because it's a very harmful thing if it's just by itself and it's exposed, but it's a very good thing and very useful thing for our everyday lives if it's used properly.
These kids don't laugh, we're dead.
Your kids don't laugh, it's over.
Welcome, moms, dads, kids. My job is marketing, and I need your help. We assembled a focus group of kids and their parents to watch the presentations of the two mascots. Without any further ado, I want to introduce you to your first team and your first mascot, Captain Drycon. Let's hear it for him.
How's everybody doing today? Good? Are we doing good? Great.
Our audience is a bunch of 8-year-old kids with a few parents at the back, but we are at a magnet school, and you're not dealing with your typical band of 8-year-olds. No way. These kids were bright.
So let's all put our time traveling hats on, all right? Let's put them all on. We got them on. Ready? Back in 1944, a young fellow named Dr. Bob started a company called Drycon. One sunny day, Dr. Bob created this chemical called hydrocyanic acid.
Hydrocyanic acid. We weren't really trying to sell it. I don't care if you buy this stuff or not. Just love our mascot. That's it. That's all we care about. Think we're cool.
Well, hydrocyanic acid was such a wonderful product that Dr. Bob needed help to get the word out. So he enlisted the help and superpowers of...
Dun, dun, dun.
Captain Drycon! Thank you all.
All kids love, especially little boys, love superheroes. So we were like, let's play on that.
The challenge requirements stated that the mascot had to provide information about hydrocyanic acid, offer some chemical safety tips, and finally present a jingle.
There's a Google jillion uses for hydrocyanic acid. My cape is made of hydrocyanic acid. That's how I can fly around.
I felt like if I could just be as energetic as I could be, that would draw the kids in.
What happens if we accidentally come into contact with these chemicals?
You could develop a rash.
Oh.
Concat hit on the idea of turning the symptoms caused by contact with this chemical into amusing characters.
The fact that I pitched the hydrocyanic acid to a bunch of 8-year-olds, do I feel morally wrong about it? Do I feel unethical? No, absolutely not.
Get out of here, Rashy Rash.
I had a job to do and I did it.
I have 2 different parts I have to play. I gotta be a geek, and then I gotta be a chick.
Everyone say hey to Bob the Beauty. Whoa, it's Dr. Dizziness. Stay away, Dr. Dizziness. We don't want you here. Be gone. Be gone, Dr. Dizzy. Be gone. Be gone, my beauty. My beauty. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'll see you later. Thank you. Thank you. Be gone. Thank you. Thank you, my beauty.
David Hickman was very impressed with this particular marketing technique. Very impressed.
Well, we have a new jingle that we made up, okay? So I was wondering if you guys could help me sing it. Can you guys sing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So when we point to you guys, Drycon, Drycon.
Everywhere you look.
Drycon, Drycon, everywhere you look. Pretty catchy.
The kids couldn't stop singing it. I couldn't stop singing it.
It's everywhere. You look, see, I can't get it out of my head.
Bye-bye, everybody. Remember, safety first.
When we're gonna go first, we said we'll raise the bar so high that the girls can't match it.
That was Team 1. Now you're about to meet Team 2 and their mascot. I want you to give a big, warm welcome to Team 2 and Fergie the Frog.
Hey, kids! Woohoo!
I know that when you come into a room, you have to make a splash. And right away, I knew that we were going to put on a good performance.
Today, we're going to be in my fish tank, and you're going to meet Fergie and all of our friends. Are you ready? Let's go!
Hey, kids! I'm Scuba Sandy! Scuba Sandy. I'm proud of Scuba Sandy because I made that uniform.
I believe Scuba Sandy was my idea.
Scuba Sandy was my creation.
Team Femron's presentation was more eclectic. There were a lot of characters that didn't make a lot of cohesive sense. There were some buck-toothed girls, and there was a scuba man woman, and there was Tanya in a bald cap in the background.
I'm here to introduce you to my best friend in the whole world, Fergie the Frog.
Fergie the Frog was this large green frog costume with a big head, and I'm not sure, but the frog looked a little pregnant to me. I didn't quite understand the whole frog aspect.
I am going to tell you about one of the many products that we manufacture called Hydro. I was the first person that had to say that word in our skit, and let me tell you, I was so panicked. Hydrocyanuric acid. You don't want to eat any chemicals. If you do accidentally breathe in a chemical, you move away from the chemical. You may feel sick to your stomach. You may get a sore throat.
The girls thought they were putting a happy face on our product by pretending to vomit graphically. It kind of brought down the room. So when it was time for the girls to present their jingle, they had a lot riding on it.
Hydrocyanuric acid used in many ways. Found in common household products used every day. Whether making drinking glasses, found in blood spray.
It's supposed to be a jingle. A jingle is short. They had written like an operetta.
Hydrocyanuric acid used in every day by
We thought that we would just win this thing by a landslide.
Now it is finally time to vote for which team and which mascot you thought did the best job.
I thought we had done well, but to be honest with you, I was nervous.
Please raise your hand if you vote for Captain Drycon. Now, if you vote for Fergie the Frog, please raise your hands. High up, please. Everyone high, hands high.
It was too close to call.
Okay, this one is very, very close. In fact, one vote.
Okay. I am pleased to announce that the mascot that you have chosen, 20-19, Captain Drycon.
Thank you, kids.
One vote. We lost by one vote.
Carrie, you, and the rest of your team, I will see you tomorrow in the office.
This is terrible. We have to be punished again. We have to go back to the boardroom.
With every day that goes by, the contestants seem more and more committed to the idea that N. Paul Todd's bizarre philosophies can actually help them raise their game as business people. So for this elimination, we asked Whitney to show up in her frog outfit, presumably to give her important feedback on her team's PR strategy.
Take the hat off, please. Ladies, you've lost 2 challenges in a row. Your team has a virus. It's called losing. This was an exercise in damage control. You want to talk about damage control? Your damage is already done. You're weak, and in my business, the weak only survive if the strong are weaker. What do you think of that? That's a good start. Who is the primary, dare I call it, creative force behind this concept?
I feel like it was a collaborative effort.
Yeah, definitely. It was Ellie that chose to do the aqua thing.
I automatically thought fuzzy. We need to do something fuzzy. We walked in the room and I saw the frog and I said, it's got to be the frog. And then Ellie jumped in and said, well, how about we'll do an aquatic theme.
Good. Inane, but good.
Children are fascinated with the world that they can't see visually because it's all underwater. So we thought that it would be an amazing marketing
Fair
angle.
comments. David.
Here's one of the problems with the frog outfit for me. We're thinking about communication here, so I couldn't see your mouth. I think that hurt the connection with the kids. On the other side, the guy's side, CONCAD, I knew exactly where to focus. I could see David's mouth. I could see David move his lips constantly. I could see his face. It's like, I was attracted to his lips and his mouth. Boom, right in there. My eyes were drawn to his mouth. And they had a water cooler moment, a man-on-man kiss. And I gotta tell you, that got my attention.
Here's something I'm confused about. Why would you put Whitney in the frog suit? Whitney, put the head on again.
Okay.
Let me just see if I can make this point crystal clear from a marketing point of view. All right, the head is on. Whitney, how's it going?
Okay.
You can't even hear it, let alone connect with those fascinating eyes. The person is shrouded in a frog. It's shrouded in a frog.
Whereas we could see David's lips moving.
Well, of course, you could see David's lips moving. It's like he's really there. Why would you put Whitney in the frog suit?
Well, the reason that I ended up in the frog suit was because...
Yeah, I mean, okay, thanks. For my money, you got Whitney. Take the hat off. Look at her. She's bubbly. She has a terrific personality. She's the perfect person to put a face on the company.
The reason that I ended up in the frog suit, though, was because actually I was doing the writing for the introduction, and as I was reading it out loud to the group, they liked the way that I sounded when I read it.
Very animated, very lively.
Well, yeah, but there's other people that are animated here. She's one of your best assets. I mean, you don't put a Picasso in the closet, and you don't put a Whitney in the frog suit. All right, you all know the routine. Carrie?
Yes.
You're the team boss. Name 2 people who are going to face us in the final elimination.
Okay.
Right? One of those people will be sent home tonight. The other one becomes the team boss.
If I were to rank my employees based on how they contributed to the meat of this presentation, I would put Whitney first and Ellie last. I would like to put those 2 in the boardroom because I would like to see Whitney as our next team boss.
And yet you expose her to potential elimination, right?
Whitney was aware of this, and you know that you like gutsy women, and I think you should consider that in your decision.
On the assumption that I'll eliminate Ellie, that's presumptuous. That is a very big risk. All right, and you volunteered for that?
Yes, sir.
All right, you 3 are excused. Relax. Ellie, why do you think you should stay?
I I should stay here for the simple reason that I have not been able to show you exactly what I'm yet fully capable of. I have led the team in all 3 challenges. Not only that, I created Scuba Sandy.
First of all, I created Scuba Sandy. I named her and I made that costume. You talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk. You don't back your words with any actions.
And why weren't your actions bigger, and why didn't you articulate?
I didn't realize that my actions weren't big enough, Ellie. You're the marketing guru here. You should have said, hey, even bigger. I don't know. That's not my
There's not much I can do.
I made the Scuba Sandy suit. I helped with
You've got to appeal. You can't stand back there and just go like
then
this.
You should have stepped in and said, hey, Whitney, you know what? You be the kid and I'll be the frog. Do you understand? We want
Then what have you been doing? Every
influences
attack
in the house.
Every
we don't
attack
want this
I've been had
negativity.
tonight
We don't
has
want
been
this
personal.
tension. All we need is some optimism. We need good job, good work, you know, and instead, I feel like everybody feels like that you're judgmental and you.
Are you everybody, and is everybody here? I have never at one time, chastised somebody at a challenge for not doing well. They're taking half of what I say and they're throwing it out the window.
Because they hate you.
No, that's not true at all.
Because they're being your stereotypical proverbial women. And I am their biggest threat because I will outsell and I will outmarket and I will outspeak and I will outarticulate
anyone.
everybody.
You didn't outsell Annette.
I would say to Annette.
I think we've had enough of this, don't you?
I don't think that she outsold.
Let's excuse you, please, to the reception room, and we'll make a decision. And the man's going to have a tough decision on his hands tonight. Can you find out what it is?
Yeah, the sooner the better on this one.
I know. They might be going at it in the hallway. Sit tight. I'll be back. We'll be here. So, you ready to make your decision?
Should I go?
Want to get him?
Yep.
Please.
When Whitney offered to put herself on the chopping block, I was totally blown away. Here's this very intelligent young woman, actually willing to risk sacrificing herself because she thinks she's earned my favor, and I don't have the power to keep her around, even if I wanted to.
So, Ellie, Whitney, the decisions up to now have been tough. I thought this one was going to be tougher. Actually, as the facts unfolded, things became relatively straightforward. Ellie, you're creative. People say you like to stir the pot. But I like my pot stirred. Frankly, of all the members of the Femron team right now, I see you as being the only one who does have brass ones. Whitney, I don't know what to say. I do find you fascinating, but you come in here tonight as if you can manipulate me. I don't buy the reason why you volunteered. I think it was presumptuous. It's as if you think you can play me like some junior executive, and I'm insulted. So, Whitney, Ellie, facts unfolded, it became quite clear to me. Ellie, get the hell out of my office.
With all due respect, Paul, you're missing out on a really good opportunity.
Whitney, if you play with fire again, you're going to get burned.
Yes, sir.
Consider this your first and last warning. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, get out of here, Fergie.
Thank you. Have a good night.
I really don't feel like I learned anything from Paul. I think he is a bit of a pig, and he seems to always be talking about his brass ones. FYI, you work for a jackass. A good businessman would tell me exactly why he asked me to leave. Instead, he just told me to leave. So this whole process completely doesn't make any sense to me. It's ridiculous. So overdramatic.
Next week, Mr. Todd issues the most distasteful challenge yet.
A great salesman can sell a sandwich with a side of and a sickle for dessert.
The contestants are forced to sell a line of bogus products.
Eco-Ponds. Ecologically safe tampons made from twigs, berries, leaves.
Renew reusable toilet paper.
And the task pushes them to their limits.
To try to sell reusable toilet paper is ridiculous.
Use it in the bath, use it in the shower.
And with the contestants on the brink,
What is going on?
Mr. Todd remains on his absolute worst behavior.
If Mother Nature gave you breasts instead of brains, use them. Listen, it's not me, it's you. Get the hell out of my office.